I cry a lot. I have a lot of mental breakdowns. Why Coop won't wear a helmet? It's okay to change. It's okay to get a new job. Top 3 skis y'all have tried and loved. How did you choose where you wanted to live post-grad? How did we meet? What's up, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Coop and I are on a road trip right now, and I wanted to film a little Q&A. So we're gonna do it while we're testing out van life together. I asked you guys to send in questions to my Instagram story, so I'm gonna read them off. Coop has no idea what they are. He's never seen them before. These are his raw and real reactions. I feel like we've answered this so many times, but so many people asked it. How did we meet?
I picked you out of a crowd at Highlands closing day. You were in the high vis, so it was easy to spot.
I literally looked like a blind skier. I thought it was a construction vest that I bought, and it was like just not. But basically, Highlands closing day is like the last day, the last ski day of the year at Highlands, and there's a huge party at the base. And he picked me out to his friend. And I didn't even realize what was happening. I had to ask him like a month later, like, how did we even meet? Because all I remember is just talking to him, and I didn't know why or how we got into that conversation.
Jake introduced us. Jake like bumped into you and was like, yeah, what are your guys' names?
Bumped in.
Yeah. It was like 20 minutes before. I was like, yo, who's that chick? She's so hot.
And the rest was history. Well, actually, our first conversation, Cooper said so many green flags, and so I just knew that I had to continue speaking with him. And we both went to Boulder, so it was nice because we could like hang out back at home. So many green flags. Also, we're at this party, and I told him that I had to go back to Boulder because I had a presentation or a test the next day, and his drunk ass literally texted me when I got home and asked if I got home safely, and texted me good luck on my presentation in the morning. And I was like, oh my god, like if I were him, I would not have remembered that I said any of those things. So I was impressed.
I was impressed.
With yourself.
Yeah.
About to go skinning for the first time in a few weeks. Any tips?
Make sure you put your skins on the right way. That's going to be very helpful. It's not like walking up the stairs. It's like lunging. You're like lunging forward. You got to engage the glutes, not the calves. I just found out that Grace had been skinning wrong for the last 2 years. We got done with this like pretty heavy duty backcountry sesh. 8-mile skin. She's like, my calves are so sore. And I was like, why? Because your calves are not supposed to be sore after skinning. It's supposed to be all in your glutes and your hip flexors. Focus on the glutes.
If you're going in the backcountry, I would start in resort. Like, practice in resort. Because then you don't have, you know, Avi danger and a ton of fresh pow to worry about getting stuck up all in your bindings. It's good to practice in resort. That's what I like to do.
Don't go in the backcountry unless you have friends and Avi 1 and Beacon Shovel Probe.
Yeah. That
is mandatory.
Yes. Can you share your ski setup? Do you have hybrid bindings and touring boots? I have hybrid boots and hybrid bindings, actually. I have the shift bindings, so I can ski on my skis in resort and in the backcountry. I will say, if you want to get really into backcountry skiing, like, just get a solely backcountry setup. Like, it's not worth it. But when I was first getting my kit, I wanted to be able to try out both things, and I had just gotten a new pair of skis and I wanted to use them for both. So shift bindings on Fisher Ranger 102s, and then I have Lang XT3 boots that have like the hybrid. I don't know, I can use them in resort and for touring.
I've got a setup for both. I actually use my boss's skis right now, but I have a pair of touring skis, and I've got touring boots. I personally would recommend getting a setup for both, even though it's super expensive. Sometimes it's hard to watch Grace switch through with her shift setup. But I've got the Salmon MTN bindings with the Black Crow Corvus, like Freebirds, I think they're called. They're actually my boss's skis, but I'm trying to buy them off of them.
Are you really?
Yeah. On my touring setup, I've got the Marker Alpinist 12, which is the worst binding I've ever had because they broke super quick. They've got like the plastic clip-up thing, and when I clipped it up, it like dislocated it, and now my toe piece doesn't stay locked in. And the transition time, the brakes get jammed, but the Salmon MTN, literally you just flip one thing, you lock the brake in, and then you're touring. And then you just flip it back, and you're skiing. And then I've got Tyrolia Attacks on a couple pairs of skis. Blizzard, Vocal.
I have similar issues with my shift bindings. They're plastic, so if it gets really cold, they just like break. And only like one part of the plastic is broken on mine, and it's not a detrimental part. However, I've had some friends that the detrimental parts have broken, so you never know. And the transition time is really long. Cooper, what was it like growing up in Aspen?
It was great. I don't know, it felt like growing up. I didn't really know anything else, but vibes were high, people were cool. I didn't really start to understand that Aspen was actually Aspen until I left for college.
You had no idea?
I mean, like, everyone was like, oh, you're so spoiled, like, you grew up in Aspen, like, what was it like? And it's like, I did the same things everyone else did. I rode my bike down the road and back, and rode my bike to school, and like played sports. One thing I will say, none of the refs liked us, and none of the teams we played liked us.
They had so many rivalries.
Yeah, there was a lot of beef coming out of Aspen. But I mean, other than that, it was like, there were definitely like Range Rovers and Porsches in the parking lot at high school, but
I suppose, like, if you don't know anything else,
yeah,
you don't know that other kids don't have Range Rovers and Porsches in their parking lots. Someone else asked, how did you choose where you wanted to live post-grad? And a big reason was because Cooper's from there. We knew we wanted to move to a ski town and ski more. We didn't want to be weekend warriors from Denver. Like, Aspen just made the most sense because his family's there. We already knew a ton of people. We had been going there so much. It was getting to the point where I felt like we were going every single weekend, and I was like, okay, we just need to
bite the bullet.
Yeah. So that's why we ended up there. They also asked, is Aspen expensive? Yes. But at the same time, I feel like there's ways.
It's expensive.
And I'm getting a little bit numb to the prices there. I bought, like, on our trip, I bought 2 lattes, and it was $13. And I was like, oh my God, like, that is so cheap. I was like, oh, that's terrifying, Grace, that you think that's cheap. Because in Aspen, I think, like, 1 latte is $13. And also, when people go to Aspen and it's really expensive and they have these big bougie vacations, they're going to all these fancy restaurants and, like, going out every night and doing all these crazy things that, like, when you live there, you're not doing that every day. Cooper, Ava wants to know, what's one way that you show up for me that you're most proud of? Sorry to put you on the spot.
Dr. Tripod.
Being an Instagram boyfriend, you're like, I'm killing it at it. I was gonna say, I mean, she didn't ask me, but I'm just gonna answer it anyways. I feel like we do a solid job supporting Outpost.
100%.
And I'm proud of that.
Yeah.
If you succeed and if I succeed, it's better. We succeed together. What are some things you miss about the Midwest? I miss the lake. Well, all the lakes in Minnesota so much. Colorado, I swear, has no water. None. There's water, but like, there are no lakes that you can just go swimming or boating, and it's like bath water and like, Minnesota lake life is just perfect. Cooper, when he's drunk, has a Minnesota accent. And honestly, sometimes acts more Minnesotan than I do. We've been over this question so many times, but I'm still getting it, so I'm just gonna tell you again why Coop won't wear a helmet.
It's a mental thing. I feel like every time I wear a helmet, something bad happens. Although I've worn a helmet a couple times this year, and nothing bad has happened. Before this year, the last time I wore a helmet, I broke my back, and the time before I got like a back concussion, and the time before that, I hurt my knee. So I was like, screw it, we're not wearing a helmet anymore. And it keeps me more chill. Like, I'm aware that I'm not wearing a helmet, so I'm not going full send. But now, I am actually considering wearing a helmet.
Really?
Yeah, there's one helmet I would wear. I've got a hat business, so it makes it a little hard.
You can wear your hats when you're not skiing.
Yeah, you're right.
Also, before you guys say that his theory is dumb, it's actually a proven theory. It's called moral hazard. You have this false sense of security when you put on a helmet. Many people have done studies on this. We recently saw one by Dartmouth that said the increased rate of people wearing helmets in this certain area that was studied did not decrease the rate of serious head trauma because people put on a helmet and then think they're invincible. So I'm just saying it's there. Not saying that you should do it, okay? Like, that is not what we were telling you to do. But for some people, it works and it's their choice.
Outpost hats are cheaper than helmets.
Yeah.
I will say that. Also, helmets are not going to do shit for you if you're going 60 miles an hour and hit a tree.
Yeah.
It's over no matter what. So it's fate. It's a fate thing.
Okay, yeah. It's just better to ski responsibly and wear a helmet, people. Okay, if you want to. Can you give the details on your goggles and helmet, please? I wear the Giro Ledge. It has MIPS and it's pretty affordable, actually. It's kind of why I got it, but I like the Stye and it's on the more affordable side as helmets go. I have it linked in my Like to Know It and my Amazon. My goggles are his hand-me-downs.
Contours. Giro Contours.
Is it Giro? Am I saying it wrong? Giro. Yeah.
You can say however you want to say it.
Okay, thanks. But yeah, we both wear those. And it comes with like two lenses, so you have the highlight and the low light. Okay, a couple people asked skincare routine. It's pretty simple. I have videos on my TikTok and Instagram about this. I wash my face with warm water at night, cold water in the morning, and then I do this like 2-step moisturizer thing from Skin Fix, and it's helped my skin so much this year. Normally my face is super dry. And then I also started religiously wearing sunscreen this year. I found this small business in Aspen called Antidotum, and they have a tinted sunscreen that's made partially by the aspen trees in Aspen, which is really cool. But I've been putting that on, and it's helped just like keep my face way better this year because I've skied more this year and my face has stayed more hydrated. I'll link the products actually that I use in the description. Cooper, what's your skincare routine?
Head and Shoulders 2-in-1.
They also said face and body for surviving the dry climate. Your mom and her friend gave me this tip. They don't wash their body with soap. Like, you wash the stinky parts and scrub the stinky parts, like, but like don't scrub your arms and legs with soap unless you like really need to, like you're muddy or something, and then put lotion on afterwards. Your skin doesn't dry out as much, and I started doing that and it works really well actually. How do you balance skiing, working, and content creation daily? I cry a lot. I have a lot of mental breakdowns, but I love it. I feel like it's a little easier for me because I was doing content creation before I made it a job. It takes a lot of work to, a lot of time and effort, but for the most part it comes naturally just because I've always done it, just because I love it. I love capturing my life. I work at my local airport and it's only part-time, which in the winter it was still like 20 hours a week, which was not very chill. However, I don't know, just prioritize sleep. What's y'all's go-to big wrap order?
I was on the Pesto Raptor through and through growing up, and I kind of burnt out of Big Rap for a bit, and then someone put me on the tacos. 2 tacos with steak, mild salsa with queso. The queso is the most important factor.
I haven't tried that yet. I need to go with you. I used to get the Tatai for with steak, but Cooper put me on the Pesto Raptor. Top 3 skis y'all have tried and loved.
What's up with all the y'all?
Yeah, y'all! And also, honest opinion of Fisher Ranger skis. How are they riding on piste and how playful are they? And I'm combining these because the Rangers are in my top 3. Headcore 93, Ranger 102, number 1 right now is the Ranger 108. I grew up ski racing on Fishers, so I think that plays a big role in why I like skiing on them now. I'm like familiar with how they ride. I really like the 102s because they're so fabulous for me in the powder, and they also carve really nice, really sturdy ski all around. They're pretty stiff, I would say. Like, they hold an edge really well. They're also really heavy. She said how playful are they? I think my 102s are more playful than my 108s for sure. They kind of have like a softer tip and tail, but the middle, is that wrong?
Keep going.
Is it wrong?
I don't think it's wrong. I think that you've broken those skis in more.
Oh, I don't know. Anyways, I love my Rangers. I think that they're super fun to carve in, and I think they're also playful enough in powder and on moguls. They are not playful like a park ski, so if that's what you're into, don't get them, because they're a pretty heavy, sturdy ski. But I think if you like to carve, you like groomers, and you want just an all-around good big mountain, all-mountain ski, I think they're a great option. Cooper, top 3?
Number 1 is the Rustler 10. 2 is probably the Core 105. And 3 is, it's called the Kendo right now, but next year it's going to be the Mantra 88. I think the Rangers are fun skis. If you want my technical answer, they're like pretty forgiving for how soft for how stiff they are, and they're like really fun in the bumps to like do slip turns instead of like carving like hard turns. You can kind of like give up on the carve and slide it out, and I feel like that's kind of what the ski's made for. The 96s are really stiff. I'm not a huge advocate of the Ranger 96s, but the 102s and the 108s and the 116s are fun. I didn't know this was going to be a gearhead video.
Yeah, neither did I. We'll stay away from the gear now. How did you deal with burnout as a ski racer? Same way I dealt with burnout with my job and balancing my job. I cried a lot. Eventually I quit, obviously, because I don't ski race now. I was doing club and high school, and that was so much. And when I became a senior, I was just trying to have fun. And when you're training 5 days a week and competing the 2 other days a week, it's just like, I don't know. I felt like I ended up in tears every single night. And then I moved to college, and I was on the club team at Boulder, which was so fun. And it was more of like a fun, chill team. It was not serious. I took it very seriously when I was a freshman, but after that, I was just trying to like meet people to ski with. And then when I didn't have the team, like junior year or senior year, because I was on semester at sea junior year, and then senior year, it was still COVID. So I started just free skiing with friends, and I felt like I fell in love with the sport. A lot was missing when I was like just racing, and that was the only thing I was doing. And there was just so much more to the sport of skiing when you get away from
punching gates.
Yeah. I mean, even now, like, I still feel like I have been improving as a skier the more I get away from racing. How should you deal with burnout though? Not that you asked that, but I would say it's okay to take breaks. I don't know what your goal is with it, but if it's just to enjoy the sport, take breaks, because there's really no reason that you need to push yourself to your breaking point like I did. What are a few women intermediate skis Cooper recommends?
Intermediate skis, the Vocal Yumi is a great intermediate, narrower, easy to turn, soft, forgiving women's ski. The Kesley Marble or the DX84 is a very good intermediate, more intro level women's ski. The Elon Ripstick is a great all mountain, all around ski. You can get like the 88 or the 94 or the 102. Probably 88 because it's got a wide shovel and it's really easy to turn, and it's like a little bit softer than stiff.
Someone said, thinking about moving out west, why did you switch from Denver to Aspen? I moved there after Boulder, and I don't know why, I just thought it was going to be like a bigger Boulder, and it was so different, and the mountains, with all the traffic, it was not accessible. I just wanted to ski, so I had to get out of there. But I moved to Denver because I had a job right out of college. I got a master's in accounting, and then I moved to Denver to work for a public accounting firm. I did financial consulting, and then they did a massive laid off like 10% of the company. So I was struck by that, but it was a blessing in disguise because the only reason I was really in Denver was for that job, and I did not like living there. So I just took it as a sign to move, get my booty out of there. And we wanted to ski. I wanted to be in the action. I was driving or taking the bus every single day to the mountains to go hiking or skiing or whatever it was. So I just knew that I needed to be there instead of commuting there every single day. Like if you have a normal 9 to 5, it's a little harder to make a jump like that. But if you're deciding between, you know, a city and the mountains or whatever it is, really take a look at what you want to actually be doing day to day. And also if you like the city, I don't think I like cities either. I grew up in the middle of nowhere in Minnesota, like in the woods, in a little log home on a lake, and I thought that I was gonna love living in a city, and it was way too much for me. How did I end up in Colorado? I wanted to ski race in the Rocky Mountains, and then I toured a bunch of schools in Colorado, and Boulder had the best business school, and I loved it. It's like the prettiest campus ever. Such a fun place to be. And then once I moved to Boulder, I did undergrad and grad school, and then I never left Colorado, and it's been 7 years. How did you get started with social media? I started posting in high school, just on my Instagram. I actually had a photography business. I loved taking photos growing up. I used to steal my mom's little iPhone and take pictures of the flowers in the garden. And then when I was old enough to get a job, I saved up and bought a nice camera, and I started taking people's senior photos as a little side hustle. And then I was posting a bunch of photos on my Instagram. Then when I went to Boulder, there was so much to do there that I could post about. And I think going on semester at sea helped with social media. And in quarantine, I started my TikTok, but I didn't start doing it full time until I got laid off. And then I was like, well, I have literally no other choice except for to apply for jobs and pursue social media at the same time. And then it all worked out. Cooper, do you have any tips for moguls?
Lean back and let Jesus take the wheel. Good one is lift up your toes. Because if you lift up your toes, that's going to get you more forward in your boots, and you're going to have more control. If you lift up your toes, then your shins will go forward, and then you will go forward, and then you'll be in like a good skiing position.
Wait, what did you say? Lean back and let Jesus take the wheel? And then you said lean forward?
That was a joke.
Okay, I feel like I used to try a lot harder in moguls, and it wasn't working. Like, I would try to set up my turns the same way I was on a groomer. And this year when I started just kind of like getting a little loose with it and just having the mountain kind of toss me around and just, what did he say, linking my recoveries. Then it started to work out. Look ahead, but just kind of stay loose and let the mountain kind of throw you around. That's what I do. I don't know if that's bad advice, but it worked for me.
You should ski the same way no matter what run you're on.
Okay. Keep your form. Always have good form.
Hire a ski instructor.
Yeah, do that, guys. Last question from you guys is advice for entering the real world post-graduation and advice of finding a job.
Outpost.co is hiring.
Yeah, I feel like just so.
Please.
I would say my biggest piece of advice is no matter what job you get, if you are unhappy and you don't like it, change it. It's okay to change. It's okay to get a new job. I mean, I think the first job you get out of college is not going to be probably the one you have for the rest of your life. Maybe it is. Maybe you love it and that's great. But I feel like there's a ton of pressure when you graduate to like have things figured out and, you know, go get a job and work towards this. But if you find something that you're happy doing, just do that. And if you're no longer happy with it after a while, then change it. It's not that deep, and you should just do whatever you want. Any last questions for me?
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
You know, going off my last question, I have absolutely no idea because I'm just going to do what I want until I don't want to do it anymore and then change it.
Nice.
I'll probably still be living in the mountains, I think.
Cool.
I think that's all. I don't know. I don't like to think that far ahead. I used to have an 8-year plan at all times, and then I started not following that plan and it started stressing me out. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing what I said I was going to be doing, and it gave me so much anxiety. So then I let go of that plan and I've never been happier. So I have absolutely no idea. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Probably in the mountains.
Good. So maybe we could be there together.
Yeah, maybe we can hang out.
Yeah, we should hang out sometime.
Every now and again.
Cool.
Maybe once a week.
Once a week on a schedule?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'll have my people talk to your people.
Right on. I'll give you a business card.
Thanks for watching. Love you. Bye.